special. I'm a creep. Alright, hey guys, just doing a super quick, cause in about an hour and 20 minutes from now, I have to work, I have to go to my job, but, before that, just doing a super quick, probably like 30-minute, 20-minute, hopefully not too long, live stream of me doing something I've never done. See, I've done a couple of editing live streams recently, but I've never done a live stream of me just recording audio for a new video. And so the same video that I recently, just the other day, live streamed myself editing a tiny bit of, I am going to be recording myself doing the second audio recording session for the video. I have, since the previous live stream, watched the movie another time for this video, the movie being Plankton the movie, and so my opinion has actually kind of changed a tiny bit, so I am re-recording the outro for the video, and I got coffee with me, because I'm not just doing that, I'm also recording basically the entire video right now is what I plan to do, and half of it is going to be unscripted, like the majority of my recent videos, half of them are unscripted, and when I am making my videos, almost all of my videos, I am like super caffeinated when I'm making them, especially the ones that are like unscripted. But alright, let us do this. Okay, start recording. Okay. Google Doc opened. Okay. But even though the pacing feels a bit off in a couple sections of the movie, everything else about it was amazing. And especially after watching it multiple times for this video, I do actually love it. No hate to Sponge Out of Lotto. As I've said, I loved that one too. But this one managed to do something no SpongeBob movie since the original one was able to do. Not just be a very fun and enjoyable movie in the SpongeBob franchise, but one that has actually impactful and genuinely felt emotional elements at the center of it. Plankton the movie is a beautiful masterpiece. Okay, I think that is gonna be good for the outro for the video. Danta Evela, sorry, I'm so bad at pronouncing stuff and names. Hey, hello, welcome to the live stream. Diana, Philippe, I'm horrible at pronouncing names, but hello. Yo, what's up? Says Grayson. Nothing much. I am just recording audio for a very passionate video essay about Plankton the movie. It's fine. Hi, says Heather. Dang, there's so many people right now. I was not expecting that out, but thank you everyone for watching. What's up? Nothing much. Just recording audio for a new video. I'm not just subscribed. Hey, thank you. Thank you for subscribing. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna be like interacting with the chat a ton. I'm just figured I am currently recording audio for a video, so might as well just also live stream myself doing that because I've never done that before. A live stream such a behind the scenes thingy for a video, but yeah. Okay, so I just recorded the outro for that video. Oh, I subbed. Oh yeah, thanks for subbing. Yo, 2 people joining and subbing. That's awesome. Appreciate it. Okay, let me recode the intro now, since I recorded the outro, and I'm not doing it in sequential order. Yeah, I'm gonna record the intro. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Following the strange new trend of everything going as bad as possible, surrounding each new movie in the franchise, the Sandy Cheeks movie somehow got leaked in its entirety before it even came out. Meaning, by the time it eventually dropped on Netflix like it was originally intended to, almost everyone had already made up their minds about it. And the overwhelming sentiment about it was exactly what I said in my review of the movie. It is so bad. Denta copied me. It's okay. As long as the copying is subscribing to my channel, people can copy each other. No, I'm joking. I don't know. I do not condone copying, for the record. Okay, it is so bad. Just recorded that line. But then, believe it or not, as if one entire movie leaking before its release date wasn't already strange enough, another movie in the SpongeBob franchise also got leaked before coming out. Man, they need better security at Netflix. But something was different about this one. When this one leaked online and then officially debuted on Netflix in 2025, many SpongeBob fans watched it and said, that movie was actually awesome. Okay. And after watching it multiple times for this video, I gotta say, awesome might be an understatement. This is Plankton the movie. Okay, so now I have the intro recorded, the outro, and intro. And now, that is basically all that I have scripted right now. Well, I have half of the video scripted, but the first half is basically going to be fully unscripted. Oof, that would be tiring. But okay, I have the gallery open too as like a refresher of like the movie that I did just watch, but just so I know that I'm saying stuff in the correct sequential order of how they play out in the movie. Okay. Time to start recording again. Can you wish my buddy Mike a birthday? His full name is Michael Hawk, but he goes by Mike Hawk. Happy birthday, Mike Hawk. I hope you have a very good day today and have a lot of fun. Okay. Okay. No time to start recording. Okay. It begins with a pretty fun song about how this is yet another SpongeBob movie, which is then actually no, man, forgot to mention how Frenchie is in the beginning. I'm gonna cut that part actually. Thanks for that, man. You're welcome. What do you do on streams? I usually don't stream. I usually just make videos about like SpongeBob and stuff like that. But I occasionally live stream just random stuff. I recently live streamed the entirety of the SpongeBob video game Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. I recently did a Get Ready With Me live stream where I was basically just making my breakfast. I've done a live stream where I was just going for a late night 2 a.m. drive. And now I'm just doing this, a behind the scenes live stream for my next video. Okay, want to play Minecraft? Maybe next time. I do want to do some Minecraft live streams, but I'm kind of low on time today because I have to work in like about an hour from now. So I'm just doing like a quick live stream. Just multitasking, kind of like making a new video while live streaming it. But I do want to do some Minecraft live streams sometime in the near future. I have Minecraft. I mean, who doesn't have Minecraft? But I have been planning. I want to do like a live stream series where I build basically stuff from SpongeBob in Minecraft. I know it's been done before, but I think I could do it pretty good and it's pretty fun. But oh, okay, have fun. Thank you. Have fun playing Minecraft if you are playing Minecraft. Okay. Let me re-record this part of the video. Okay. Gonna mention Frenchie. This movie opens up with narration, actually by Frenchie. Unlike Sponge on the Run, which for some reason had a completely different narrator. And then we get a pretty fun song about how this is yet another SpongeBob movie, which is then very funnily, I don't know if I should say very funnily, maybe just, which is then hilariously interrupted by Plankton, breaking the fourth wall and saying, "No, this is my movie." And we get a cameo from Spot, who is one of the best characters introduced after the original movie, in my opinion. Um, let's see. And we get to see Karen is hanging out with the Gal Pals, which are also a newer addition to the SpongeBob series. And I like how this movie isn't afraid to include newer additions to the series. And while Karen is hanging out with the Gal Pals, Paul, Mrs. Puff, and Sandy, Plankton is on yet another mission to steal the Krabby Patty secret formula. And unsurprisingly, it doesn't go very well for him. But when he gets back to the Chum Bucket, he is shocked when he sees there are a ton of customers there, because Karen, actually behind his back, made changes to the restaurant that made it suddenly super successful. But Plankton is unhappy and ungrateful, as this newfound success came without any evil, without stealing anything, without stealing the secret formula. And him and Karen have huge, gigantic fights, ending with Karen going insane and transforming into this big Hydra version of herself as she kicks Plankton out of the Chum Bucket and makes the Chum Bucket become this magnetic type of doomsday machine. I don't know. I'm gonna. Which she is gonna use. Wait. Let's see. As she then kicks Plankton out of the Chum Bucket, completely magnetizes it, making everything metal come to it, making the Chum Bucket become a bigger and bigger monstrosity of a machine that she is going to use to take over the world. As we get a awesome villain song. An awesome villain song with Karen. And this song is also where we get to see another one of the biggest strengths. Is also where we get to see one of the biggest strengths that this movie has, especially over the previous movie. See, the animation in this movie is still not necessarily movie theater film quality when it comes to the okay. See, the 3D animated scenes in this movie are still not necessarily movie theater film quality. It still is a little bit lower budget feeling. In some scenes, it kind of feels like a, let's see, Xbox 360 video game graphics, which isn't terrible, but isn't the best it could be. The best it could be. But in this sequence, where we get a big villain song with Karen, we also see that this movie has multiple sequences that are animated in 2D and various different styles of 2D. I don't like that. Okay, let me re-record that. How am I gonna say it? Okay, new SpongeBob episodes are too much in my opinion. They can be too much sometimes. Yeah, definitely. Let's see. Some of them are pretty good though, in my opinion. Okay, how am I gonna say this? Okay. As Karen kicks Plankton out of the Chum Bucket, and transforms it into a magnetic version of itself that makes everything made of metal, and all of the buildings in Bikini Bottom come to it and combine with the chum bucket. Wait, come to it and become. Come to it and. Huh. Okay. Let me record that again. I'm just gonna stop this recording and then. So, okay. And Karen kicks Plankton out of the chum bucket and makes it. As Karen kicks Plankton out of the chum bucket, it transforms it into this magnetic version of itself that makes everything made of metal and every building in Bikini Bottom come to it, making the chum bucket become a bigger and bigger monstrosity and doomsday device, oh, machine that Karen is gonna try to machine that Karen is gonna use to take over the planet. And while this is happening, we get a very fun and awesome villain song with Karen, and also a scene that is animated in a very good looking 2D style. And let me talk about the animation in this movie first. Wait. And let me talk about the animation in this movie. The 3D animated sequences are not necessarily. Oh. Still not necessarily movie theater film quality, but they are a lot better than the animation in Sandy the movie. In the Sandy Cheeks movie. That movie looked horrible. This one, at its worst, looks kind of like video game graphics. It looks kind of like Xbox 360 video game cutscenes. Video games cutscenes. But at its best, this movie often explodes. But at its best, this movie looks incredible, especially when we get multiple scenes in it, which are animated in different animation styles. Like this one. Is a 2D animated sequence that also feels like a mix of 90s animation, 90s action show animation, but also kind of an anime influence. I don't fully know. I don't watch anime, but it does look amazing, I think. But either way, this scene looks amazing. Okay. That is pretty good for that, I think. We also see. We also get a quick cameo from the Goofy Goobo's ice cream establishment, and yeah, modern SpongeBob has brought. And yeah, modern SpongeBob has already brought the location back in multiple newer episodes. But this is the first time the location that originally debuted in the SpongeBob movie in 2004 is coming back in another SpongeBob movie. So I think that's pretty significant and pretty cool, actually. Plankton finds himself having to team up with SpongeBob, and throughout this movie, we get some pretty good and funny back and forth between SpongeBob and Plankton. SpongeBob is actually not annoying in this movie, unlike the Sandy movie. And like we've seen before in other episodes and the second movie, SpongeBob and Plankton are just characters that build off of each other very well. That bounce off of each other very well. I must say the pacing kind of suffers a tiny bit when this movie, you can tell what they want to do is show us a bunch of flashbacks of Plankton when he was when he was uh, when he was younger, and it's not a huge deal, but the way that they get to showing us those flashbacks, it feels a little bit forced. We got SpongeBob acting like a psychiatrist, just kind of out of nowhere, in a scene that kind of feels like, for just a quick minute, the movie is kind of coming to a stop just so we can have SpongeBob acting like a psychiatrist. But in the flashbacks, we see some other pretty cool animated sequences, like one that is in black and white. Let's see. In which we see Plankton inventing the original model of Karen out of just a potato and a calculator. Oh wait, no, hold up. I'm mixing it up. That happens sometimes when I am wait, no, that's correct. Yeah. Okay. And then after that I'm just gonna say and leaving home and leaving his home behind. Or something like that. I don't know. It's so hot in here. Bro. But yeah. There's a super fun sequence of Mr. Krabs trying to fight against this big monstrosity and Karen Hydra and Hydra Karen. Okay. Just about done with the unscripted section at the beginning of this video. That's usually the most challenging part when making these videos. Sometimes is like, it can save time, not just making a full-on script, but also, it's easy to like mess up what you're saying when you're not like recording off of a script. I used to just do fully scripted videos, but let's see. Okay. Okay, that is it for the unscripted sections at the beginning of this video. Now I can recode some of the... Okay, because now I have a actual script. Alright, let me just drink some more of my coffee. Okay. One of my favorite jokes in the movie is when Plankton and SpongeBob get to Bikini Bottom. Wait. One of my favorite jokes in the movie is when Plankton and SpongeBob get to Bikini State University and SpongeBob gets offended when Plankton says, "Good old BSU." That line might go over a lot of kids' heads, but if you are an adult and you get it, yeah, it's pretty funny. I also kind of laughed when, only a minute after that joke, Plankton tells SpongeBob, "Quick man, put me under." I like how after 2.5 decades of it being said in the show that Plankton went to college, in this movie, we actually get to see Plankton going to college, and it not going so well in many ways, as he was so small compared to all of his other classmates. and just got kicked around. But we have shown that he still, despite this, has had one friend, Karen. Karen. And okay, this is something about this movie I know some people may dislike. It does contradict the iconic SpongeBob special, Friend O Foe, Friend O Foe, in which we see that Plankton and Mr. Krabs used to be best friends. But if you view this as a completely new take on what could be, but if you view this as a completely fresh and new take on what could be Plankton's backstory, I actually like how they made the creative decision to replace Mr. Krabs in the flashbacks with Karen being the only actual friend Plankton could count on being by his side, as it helps it make the relationship feel even more meaningful to both of them as characters. Especially during this movie when they split up. And it's neat watching Plankton continuing to upgrade Karen from just an AI calculator powered by a potato to the humanoid computer she is today. Something that is definitely one of this movie's biggest strengths, even if the way we get there leads to some very pacing, like I said, without the flashbacks it has, without the flashbacks it has, without the flashbacks it has, this movie is like the definition of showing instead of telling. This movie does go out of its way to not be too lazy to let us actually experience the story it's giving us. And that's how every movie should be. And that's how every movie should be. It's pretty funny. It should be. And that's how every movie should be. It's pretty funny in a dark way how when SpongeBob and Plankton go back to his old college home, the movie throws that idea at us that after all these decades, Plankton's old roommate has just been frozen inside his closets. What the heck? I think that's pretty good. Mm, that is pretty good, I would say. Okay, just about finished recording this video. Okay, okay. Now to do some more unscripted recording, but after my coffee. Then in basically only like 10 or 15 minutes, I'm gonna have to get ready for work. But we made some very good progress with this video, I think. And so I'm happy with it. I am. Happy with the progress I have made so far. The only thing is, with all these outtakes, I'm gonna have to edit them out when I'm recording, or not recording, when I'm editing the video. That's part of the process, though. I'm gonna do that. I'm probably gonna start working on that after work tonight, and then tomorrow. I want to get this video out by Tuesday, possibly, but that might not be something I can do, but we'll see. We'll see. I think that'll be pretty awesome if so, but no promises. Oops, let me stop recording right now, but I'm gonna pause that actually. Okay. Okay, so what should I say in this sequence, in this part of the video? SpongeBob and Plankton go back to where Plankton has a bunch of his old evil inventions. There's a funny callback to the Handsome Squidward meme, where it's Handsome Plankton. And then Plankton does something that shows where he is at in this point into the movie as a character. Instead of doing as SpongeBob is suggesting, finding a way to make his way back into Karen's house, Plankton tries to invent another Karen to take down the original Hydra Karen and defeat her. But then, this entire plan backfires as the two Karens now combine into an even bigger and more powerful Karen. And after this, SpongeBob completely blows up on Plankton, telling him this is all his fault. And SpongeBob, after being lied to, leaves Plankton behind. And then we get a song with Plankton, and musical notes with Plankton are always at least pretty good. This song isn't one of the best ones in this movie, in my opinion, but it's still pretty fun. It's basically him sulking and feeling sad. I'm not gonna explain the song. Whoa, what? Why? Hold up. What happened? Why? Is it like? Why did it stop recording? What? It like stopped recording now. Okay. I don't know why it stopped recording. My computer just stopped recording. Let me... Better look. This song is not... It's not one of the best songs in this movie, but it's still pretty good. And after it, Plankton is about to meet his demise. But then, being the good friend and teammate that he is, despite still being mad at him, SpongeBob saves Plankton with the Gal Pals. We get a scene of them going to what is basically like the Batcave secret headquarters of the Gal Pals. They drink some coffee, and SpongeBob is shown going crazy the second he tries it, and he instantly becomes a coffee maniac. And that joke is just incredible. So funny. And relatable. It gets revealed the reason Karen went so insane wasn't just because of being mad at Plankton, but when she was angry, she removed her empathy chip, making it so she is fully evil and can no longer feel empathy to anyone. And when it gets showed, okay. I'm reading a script now, and now I'm messing up again. Okay. And then when it gets shoved into Plankton, we get what is, in my opinion, the best looking, best animated, most impactful 2D sequence in the movie. 2D sequence in the movie. Of Plankton finally feeling bad about the way he treated Karen, and as he comes to terms with the fact that because of his self-centered actions, he is actively losing the woman he loves, as he then finds himself chasing after an image of Karen in his head that is slipping away from him as he's sprinting throughout a dark nightmarish atmospheric cave, which is seemingly also made out of chum. And there's pretty intense sounding action music playing in the background as he's yelling out to Karen, "Please come back to me." I think that is going to be one of the best moments in this video, by the way. I'm so proud of how I wrote that. What time is it? Okay, 2:16. I have to look at 3. I can finish recording this. They not gonna have my knee in the video. That's kind of the live stream. I don't know. Unprofessional. Okay. They were cooking when they made this scene. And they also cooked when making a pretty lit action scene between the Gal Pals and the Hydra Karens. As Plankton finally then finds his way back to Karen and apologizes for how underappreciative he's been to Karen, and he says he loves her. But while this is happening, you can't help but wonder if Plankton would even be saying all of this if it wasn't for the empathy chip in his brain. And if that was the only reason why he suddenly decided to apologize to Karen, I mean, I guess it would still make sense as a logical conclusion to the story, but it would feel like kind of an underwhelming conclusion on an emotional level, as in that case, Plankton wouldn't have even had much of a character arc. He wouldn't have changed because he wanted to. He would have changed because of some chip. And also, if it was this chip that was the solution to the conflict in this movie, I would have been pretty opposed to that, to be honest, as I feel like it could have sent the wrong message that this type of mad sciencey that these pieces of mad sciencey dystopian types of futuristic technology that people might one day be able to fuse with their bodies is the answer and solution. And I am absolutely dreading the day where the most greedy and scummy tech billionaires are trying to capitalize off of this type of technology by mass marketing it as the next iPhone. But also, you could say the idea of marrying a computer in and of itself is pretty dystopian, but still. I just don't think it's a good idea to have some type of brain chip be what saves the day in a movie in this day and age. But that's the thing. When Plankton apologizes to Karen, she dismisses it and feels like it means nothing because he's only saying that because of the empathy chip. But then, at that moment, Plankton takes it out, and it's been completely fried this entire time. And it's been completely fried and broken this entire time. Meaning, everything he's saying to Karen is genuinely coming from him. is genuinely coming from him. And after being tempted again by the secret formula, the object he's been trying to take for the past 25 years, just sitting there in front of him, he tosses it aside. He chooses to save his marriage with Karen over everything else. Karen accepts his apology, and then the two of them set out to take over the planet, even beyond the ocean. Even beyond just the ocean. And yeah, because of SpongeBob and Patrick, Plankton and Karen do end up failing once again, but this time they fail together. Okay. That's the entire new video fully recorded. Only took me 41 minutes. But I also already had some of it recorded from a few days ago. Some of the outro. But I'm happy with how that overall came out. It's going to be a lot of editing. But I'm happy with that. And yeah. Also, I was surprised by how many people joined this random unprompted live stream. Thank you to everyone who tuned in and watched it. New video. Like I said, I want to get it out Tuesday, but not making any promises. But yeah, Cartoon Post out.